ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ.
ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ.
ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
So can we start, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes. A very good morning. A warm welcome to all of you to the third webinar hosted by Advocates Association, Bengaluru. An old man comes weeping to a lawyer and says his daughter's wedding had been cancelled. The reason was the government had requisitioned the wedding hall. This young lawyer immediately starts drafting a petition and he goes before the court. Apparently it was around 11:30 and the court proceedings had already begun. This young lawyer stands before the judge for about half an hour silently till he drags the attention of the judge. He gets the matter listed. By the end of the list, he gets relief to his client. Yes, that young lawyer, I'm sorry, perennially a young lawyer is with us today. A legal luminary, an eminent lawyer, and personification of professionalism. These are very few words to describe our senior advocate, Shri Uday Holla. Sir, we are highly privileged and honored to have you with us, sir. May I now request Mr. A.N. Gangadharaya, General Secretary, Advocates Association, Bangalore, to welcome our senior.
Good morning, respected sir, learned senior advocates, advocate friends, law students, and all others who are attending this webinar. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome speaker of today's webinar, Mr. Uday Holla. Mr. Holla joined the bar in the year 1973. After a long and diverse practice, he was designated as senior advocate by the Honorable High Court of Karnataka. During the course of his legal journey, he has served as Advocate General for the state of Karnataka on 4 occasions. He is one of the finest lawyers and is very highly regarded and respected for his expertise in various fields of law. I have a very special regards to my lordship, my senior counsel Uday Holla, for his humbleness. He was appeared in several landmark decisions pertaining to the constitutional law, administrative law, and several other commercial and arbitration matters. Very voracious reader and enjoys reading fictions as and when his schedule permits. Sir, I wholeheartedly welcome you. I also welcome all the viewers. Thank you.
Well,
Thank
good
you,
morning
sir.
sorry.
So before we proceed with the webinar, I want to make a small mention. We have 15 minutes question and answer session. So the Q&A box will be open. So you can shoot your questions. Some of the relevant questions would be picked up and it would be answered by our beloved senior. Thank you. Sir, over to you, sir.
Good morning, friends. It gladdens my heart to be amidst all of you after such a long time. Though not physically, at least virtually. This situation probably will continue for at least a few months. And in this kind of a situation where entire world has come to a standstill, where businesses have crumbled, offices have shut, including those of the lawyers, a situation where people are trying to find out where they can make a livelihood. It is in this kind of a situation the association has thought fit to have webinars. In fact, before this, they collected funds so that the younger generation of the lawyers, the younger fraternity of lawyers could get benefit. Nearly 400 people, young lawyers, have been given kind of a stipend, if I can call that word, by the Bar Association. And I'm extremely grateful to the Bar Association on behalf of all the youngsters. Every one of us went through that grind, including myself. And we know how difficult it is in the initial stages. And the association has gone out of its way to assist the younger generation of the members of the bar. And I'm grateful, I'm really thankful to the the office bearers of the association. Well, friends, a situation has arisen now where question is whether businesses can run, whether what is the legal future of the legal profession, what happens to the lawyers who have taken premises on rent. These are the issues which crop up. More importantly, I'm sure many disputes will arise in respect of landlord and tenant relationships. I'm sure many of your clients would have already come to you, the tenants saying that, look, we are in a situation where our offices have been closed for months on end. We have not had businesses, whether we can avoid paying the rents. Many of them stopped paying the rents, and therefore the landlords came to the lawyers. They've been asking questions as to whether the tenants have a right to stop payment of rents. It is in this context that I'm sure litigation will develop. Not only this, there are a couple of other fields where the litigation can develop, which I will refer to a little later. As far as rents by the tenants in respect of premises which they have taken on lease, question is, would they be entitled to suspend the rents for this period when we have had lockdown situations, during which time they had to close their businesses, they couldn't carry on, their shops had to be closed, their offices had to be closed. What is the law on the point is what has been vexing all of us. In fact, there are three concepts, two sections in the Contract Act and two sections in the Transfer of Property Act which have a bearing on this. As far as the three concepts are concerned, all of you know it is the force majeure clause, the frustration, and the doctrine of suspension of rent. As far as the Contract Act, the two sections are concerned, it is section 32 and section 56. Transfer of Property Act is concerned, it is section 4 and section 108. As far as frustration is concerned, at least section 56 of the Contract Act has some guideline with regard to what is frustration. In fact, Supreme Court in 1969, in the case reported in AR 1969 Supreme Court 110, in paragraph 9, the Supreme Court held that frustration is a part of the law of discharge of contract by reason of impossibility of the act which was agreed to be performed by the parties. Section 56, as all of you know, of the Contract Act provides for it. As far as the force majeure is concerned, there is no definition found in any of the enactments. But all of us know that force majeure is, as is popularly known as, vis major, that is act of God. But the force majeure is actually a clause in a contract which lawyers build into a contract. To give you one illustration, any number of judgments are there. To give you one illustration with regard to the force majeure, in one of my client's cases, he was the landlord. He had leased out a premises during this during this lockdown period. Tenant said, "I'm not able to pay you the rents because I have shut down my office." The contract that he had entered into had a clause, and that read very widely. And that clause said that in case of acts of God, orders of courts, orders of government, or any similar action by authorities, which will result in the tenant not being able to use the premises, force majeure will kick in and there is a suspension of rent. Unfortunately, not many of these, nobody thought that COVID will come. Spanish flu was long prior to our, probably during our grandfather's times or probably great-grandfather's times. So nobody thought about it. I'm sure all of you now will build in, when the tenants come, build in sufficiently strong force majeure clauses. Now the question, I'm sure, as I said, many people have been coming and approaching you. Fortunately, from 5th, the offices have been permitted to be opened. Clients have started trickling in. There are certain judgments categorically indicating as to what is the law on the point. Way back in 1964, in a case reported in Madras, namely AR 1963 Madras, page 94, that was a case where a person had taken a shandy top, that is, where you have shandies, the fairs in villages, you have shandies, a weekly shandy or a monthly shandy. So he had taken a premises on lease on an yearly rent for a period of 5 years. What happened was there was a cyclone, a very strong, a terrible cyclone, which resulted in that top becoming slushy. Resultant position was that for a couple of months he was not able to use that premises, hold the fairs, because if he held the shandy or the fair, people would come and start displaying their wares in the shandy, pay rents to this person who's the tenant of the top. He did not pay the rent for an year. So the owner filed a suit. That suit ultimately came before the Madras High Court. And the Madras High Court held that the tenant is liable to pay the rent. The reason was simple. If you look at section 56 of the Contract Act, it specifies that a contract becomes void when the act becomes impossible of performance. In the instant case in Madras, there was a gap. For a little while, he couldn't use the premises, but later he could use the premises. Therefore, it was not one of those situations where the premises was completely destroyed or was not capable of being used at all. This is the first case that you find where a cyclone resulted in a temporary lull in the business. The second judgment is a judgment of the Supreme Court. a very interesting case where, it relates to the pre-partition days and the partition days. AR 1968, Supreme Court 1024 is the judgment, where they refer to the judgment of the Supreme Court in AR 1954, Supreme Court 44, where force majeure, frustration, all that have been discussed. But in that case of 1954, it was not a case of rent or payment of rent. In this case of 1968, what happened was a person had taken certain land on rent, paid the yearly rent in advance. He had taken it for 2 years. After he took it, partition got effected between India and Pakistan. The land went to Pakistan, the tenant came to India. So he asked the landlord or the owner of the land to return that amount that he had already paid. Matter went right up to the Supreme Court. Ultimately, Supreme Court held that, sorry, the Transfer of Property Act, that is why, they refer to Section 4 of the Transfer of Property Act. The Supreme Court refers to it and holds that Section 4 of the Transfer of Property Act, which reads thus, namely that the chapter and sections of the Transfer of Property Act which relate to contracts shall be taken as part of the Indian Contract Act. The Supreme Court held it does not imply that you can bring in the Contract Act into Transfer of Property Act. And the Supreme Court held that the landlord and a tenant are governed by Section 108 of the Transfer of Property Act. By virtue of Section 108E, BE, the Supreme Court held that, sorry, there is no question of tenant getting back the money that he has paid. It is a concluded contract and therefore a concluded transaction. If it is a concluded transaction, Section 56 of the Contract Act will not apply. It is on this basis that the Supreme Court held that the tenant is not entitled to refund of the money or the lease rent that he had paid. It did not end there. Again, another matter came up before the Supreme Court in the year 2003. That was a case reported in 2003, 5 SCC 150. In that case, a building was obtained on lease. Part of it was not possible of being used. Tenant said, sorry, I am not liable to pay. Matter went right up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court held that the tenant is liable to pay the rents. This is 1964, 1968, 2003. Are there any cases during this period of COVID-19? Answer is yes. The Delhi High Court, headed by Justice Pratibha Singh, who is actually none other than a Kannadiga, who has gone and held the flag of Kannadigas high in Delhi, becoming the judge of the Delhi High Court. She has passed an order wherein that judgment is reported in Manu DE 1072/2020. It is also reported and it is available in SCC online, namely 2020 SCC online Delhi 635. In that case, what happened was there was a tenant in the Khan market. All of you must have, whenever you have gone to Delhi, I'm sure, all of you must have gone to Khan market, the high-end market of Delhi. There was a shoe shop owner. He had taken the premises on rent. paying a paltry sum of 300 rupees per month. The landlord ultimately was a dentist. He filed a petition. He wanted it for his own self-occupation, filed a petition under the Delhi Rent Control Act. Ultimately, he got an order of eviction from the court, the district court, or the tribunal, as the case, as is in the case in Delhi. Matter went and came up before the Delhi High Court. In the year 2017, the Delhi High Court held, yes, I am granting you a stay, but in the light of several judgments of the Supreme Court, which have held that when a tenant is directed to vacate a premises and he comes up in appeal, the tenant is required to pay market rent. So in 2017, the Delhi High Court directed that he should pay rent at the rate of 3,50,000. You know, Khan market, as you all of you know, when you go there, you'll have to go there with a very fat purse. Ultimately, what happened was the matter lingered on. In 2020, when COVID-19 pandemic arose, the tenant filed one application before the Delhi High Court. He said, well, there is this pandemic. The businesses are not capable of being carried on because there was a lockdown. My business, even after that, is sluggish. I cannot carry on business because of this pandemic. Therefore, permit me not to pay the rents. The Delhi High Court, referring to all these judgments, including the doctrine of suspension of rent, ultimately held that the tenant is liable to pay the rents. Reason is simple. Three reasons, was given by the learned judge. One is based on the 1968 Supreme Court, that when there is a concluded transaction of landlord and tenant or a lease, question of frustration, which is peculiar to the Contract Act or the contracts, will not govern the rights of the parties. Secondly, the learned judge also held that there was already an order of eviction. By order of the court, he has continued to be in occupation. In fact, 3,50,000 is a pittance because the rents therein is far, far higher. And therefore, the learned judge held that he is liable to pay the rents. This is 2020. Does it end there? Answer is no. Recently, one Mr. Pavan Kumar, he filed a petition, a PIL, a 32 petition before, Pavan Prakash Pathak, not Pavan Kumar, Pavan Prakash Pathak. He filed a petition before the Supreme Court under Article 32. His contention was that lawyers have had quite a bad time, and rightly so, during this lockdown period. So, and even thereafter, the profession has not been going on well. Therefore, pass an order that for chambers, they need not pay the rents. When the matter came up before the Chief Justice of India and others, of course, they orally told the lawyer that, well, we sympathize with you, but then please also bear in mind that the landlord or the landlady may be dependent solely on the rents that she gets from the tenement that you are occupying. And therefore, you may have to pay the rent. No order was passed in April when the matter came up. Ultimately, on 5/5/2020, that is 5th of May, Supreme Court, by a 3-line order, rejected the petition. They said the court is convened through video conferencing. We are not inclined to entertain this petition under Article 32 of the Constitution. Writ petition is accordingly dismissed. Yes, maybe a window is still open. A lawyer is always optimistic because the Supreme Court said, we will not entertain it under Article 32. Maybe 226, courts may entertain. Well, this is as far as the decisions are concerned. Before I take you through the other possible litigations that may arise as a result of COVID-19, let us just peripherally examine the concept of doctrine of suspension of rent. There are a couple of judgments on the doctrine of suspension of rents, which you may please note, just examine it. As all of us know, courts always are proactive. They always change their views. New ideas, new concepts, new judges. So lawyers are always hopeful. Maybe somebody else may be able to persuade a judge somewhere that yes, as far as the lawyers' chambers are concerned, at least during this COVID period when the offices were shut down, they need not pay the rents. Well, I'm not very hopeful, but then, as I said, lawyers are always optimistic. There is a concept of doctrine of suspension of rent. There are a couple of judgments with regard to this. In fact, the Supreme Court, way back in 1954, Supreme Court, page 44, where again, doctrine of course, doctrine of suspension of rent did not arise there, but frustration came. The doctrine of suspension of rent concept came up before the Calcutta High Court. In 2001, SCC Online, Calcutta 71, that was a case where a company which had a factory leased out a part of the premises for a go-down. The premises was obtained by the tenant for the purpose of storing his goods and to enable his laborers to come in and go out, and for lorries to come in, his laborers to come in and take out the goods and store the goods and take out the goods. A strike occurred in the mill, that is the factory, not in the go down. Resultant position, as all of us know, during those years, garaos were very, very common in Calcutta. So the go down just could not be approached, not accessible. Resultant position was that the tenant said, I am not able to take them out, take my goods. Permit me to take the goods at least out of the go down, he said. That also the owner was not able to because the laborers completely blocked the way into the go down or the factory. So the tenant stopped paying the rents. A case was filed. He did not pay the rent and therefore a suit was filed. Ultimately, the matter came up before the Calcutta High Court. The Calcutta High Court held that doctrine of suspension of rent is based on concept of justice, equity, and good conscience, based on circumstances, based on the factual matrix. There could be a possibility of suspension of rent. Well, as far as, this is one concept which may be able to be used in courts of law with regard to the suspension of rent as well. Though, of course, the judgments of the Supreme Court, the two judgments of the Supreme Court, the Delhi High Court, and the final imprimatur of the two-line judgment of the, order of the Supreme Court may stare at us. Still, there may be some kind-hearted judge who may think that, yes, a doctrine of suspension of rent based on equity, justice, and good conscience is possible of being used. In fact, there is another judgment of the Calcutta High Court that was reported in AR 1975 Calcutta, page 418, where the court did not agree to, what happened was a part of the premises was taken back by the landlord by force. So the tenant said, I'm not liable to pay rent at all. Ultimately, the Calcutta High Court said, yes, there is what is known as a suspension of rent. With regard to this doctrine of suspension of rent, please have a look at the judgment of the Supreme Court. In AR 1966 Supreme Court, page 1361, where the Supreme Court held that, unfortunately, it held that the doctrine of suspension of rent should not be regarded as rule of justice, equity, and good conscience in all circumstances. Please mark the word in all circumstances. That means in certain circumstances, it is possible of being used. So the judgment of 66 Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court held, well, what happened there was a premises was taken. Ultimately, a part of it was not given to the tenant. Therefore, tenant said, I'm not liable to pay rent at all. Supreme Court said, sorry, you are liable to pay. Look at this fact situation. You are continuing to use the premises, and therefore, you will not be entitled to the suspension of rent. But said, maybe you may be entitled to reparation in the rents, or that is reduction in the rent to the extent of premises which is not given to you. Well, these are the judgments which I am sure will help the lawyers community to come up with certain innovative ideas when either the landlord or the tenant comes before the court, and you as lawyers, the elite of the society, are representing them in order to help them. Are there other areas? This is one aspect as far as the COVID-19 and rents are concerned. Having regard to the paucity of time, I'm not going into the details of the force majeure and frustration, except possibly give you a few case laws which you can just examine and look at. As far as the frustration is concerned, please make a note of these judgments. AR 1954 Supreme Court, which I did mention earlier, page 44, 54 Supreme Court 44, paragraph 9, 10, where the Supreme Court held that yes, doctrine of suspension of rent is a concept where it is impossible of performance, not otherwise. AR 1969 Supreme Court, which I also adverted to, AR 1969 Supreme Court 110, paragraph 9, where Supreme Court defined the doctrine of frustration to mean as being a part of the law of discharge of the contract. 1977, 3 SCC 179, Supreme Court held contract becomes void by frustration if some event intervenes after its execution and makes it impossible of performance. Very significantly, there is one judgment of the Supreme Court where it is reported in 1979, 4 SCC 602, paragraph 47. What happened was, there was a transaction or a agreement for purchase of jewelry. City Civil Court, Hyderabad, granted an injunction restraining the transaction. Supreme Court held, yes, frustration stepped in, and therefore this transaction cannot go through. there is another judgment of the Supreme Court in 2016, 13 SCC 561. Please look at it. But more important is a recent judgment rendered by His Lordship Justice Rohington Nariman, where, that was a case where Adanis had entered into a power purchase agreement. They manufacture, they produce electricity. They had entered into an agreement, a power purchase agreement with the Electricity Board. In the PPA, power purchase agreement, all of us know, the rate is always fixed. At the time when the rate was fixed, the coal prices in Indonesia, from where they were importing, because coal was used, this is a thermal power plant, coal was used. The price, by the time, the matter, after about 1 or 2 years, the price of coal increased exorbitantly. So they said, Adanis told the Electricity Board that they'll have to increase the price of the electricity. That is, for the electricity supplied by Adanis, the Electricity Board must pay more. Electricity Board refused, saying that there's a concluded contract. Matter went right up to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court held, sorry, merely because the coal prices have gone up, you are not entitled to higher price of electricity because there's a concluded contract, and refused. That judgment is reported in 2017, volume 14, SCC 80. In fact, this judgment is also referred to by Her Lordship Justice Pratibha Singh in the judgment in 2020 with regard to COVID-19 case. This judgment follows an earlier judgment. In all of us, during our college days, we have all read about Alopi Prasad's case, which is reported in way back in 1956. These judgments, please have a look at it. Frustration. What is frustration? Because one of the things that comes up when a tenant-landlord dispute arises with regard to this COVID situation and the inability of the tenant to pay the rents on account of extreme distress that he's put to as a result of the COVID-19 and the businesses that have gone down enormously. Well, friends, I'm already, reaching 11:44. So therefore, let me, there is a 15-minute of question and answer also, because that is also equally important. Let me just tell you, there are 3 areas where litigation because of COVID-19 might increase. What are those areas? First is, it relates to purchase and sales. The regular contracts. I am sure number of disputes will arise. What has happened now is, take for example, a person who has agreed to sell 100 tons of iron or steel. Because of COVID, he is not able to get the steel within the time stipulated, in which event the seller will sue him, or sorry, the purchaser will sue him. So that kind of a litigation will increase. There are instances where people have got imported goods. They are lying in the ports, and when things lie in the port, there is what is known as demurrage. It's very high. They are not able to take it out because of COVID. There's a lockdown. Would these importers be liable to pay demurrage? Well, I'm sure disputes will arise. Second, the disputes with regard to builder and contractors. that again will increase. Reason is simple. Every building industry
I think there was slight disturbance there. There was some technical issue. I think senior is just sorting it out. He'll be back. Are you able to hear me? Sir, Secretary, sir, ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
Yeah, we are able to hear you, Mr.
Yeah. Sir, senior will be back. I think he had some technical issues there. He's just sorting it out. Sorry about it.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are able to hear you, sir. We are able to hear you, sir. So we are able to hear you.
Are you able to hear me? You are able to hear me? Okay. Friends, I'm sorry there was an interruption. The that is a second category of cases which might crop up, namely the builder and the contractor. Contractors bring in labor, migrant labor from various parts of India. Because of the, the COVID situation, most of the laborers have gone back. Resultant position is the contractor will not be able to comply with or honor the commitment that he has made to the builder. Builder in turn will be sued by the citizens or the purchasers of flats. So the builder in turn will sue the contractor. So this kind of a situation or litigation, I'm sure, will increase. Third category of cases are, we have all seen that the COVID warriors, namely the nurses, the doctors, are all in the forefront. Many a times, they are not given the necessary kits, equipment, PPE dresses. If by any chance they are bodily harmed or a death occurs, either they, when they are harmed bodily, or their relatives may be able to sue the state or the employer, either the hospital, if it is a private hospital, or the state, if it is a government hospital, if as a result of negligence in not giving them sufficient kits, dresses, and equipment, they contract COVID and either they die or bodily harm occurs to them. I'm sure there will be more litigation in this connection also. Therefore, these are the areas I'm sure, I'm aware, acutely aware, that every lawyer is suffering, big or small. There is that saying, Aanege aane bara, irvege irve bara. So everybody is suffering. Bigger firms, they have large paraphernalia, number of juniors, huge offices, rents, outgo. Smaller lawyers, they have their own. That's why these are the difficult situations and circumstances. It is in this context, I'm sure every lawyer would welcome some kind of a sustenance, and he should be able to give advice to the clients. These are the areas, I'm sure, if each one of you examine, I'm sure clients will be benefited. Well, we are now nearing 1. I think I'll stop now. I would welcome the questions. And I should say that it has been, I've been extremely lucky that I'm able to interact with all of you. As I said in the initial stage itself, it gladdens my heart to be amidst you. And I'm grateful to the association for having given me this opportunity to be amidst you. Yes, sir. The question and answer session.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us a holistic view of the position of law as far as the...
You are not audible, Trivikram.
Am I audible, sir, now?
No. Tell me. I think, over the phone, you can tell me what the question is so that I'll repeat it and then...
Mr. Akash, can you unmute all the viewers so that they can pose the questions? Mr. Akash?
Yes, 1 second.
Please unmute, and learned members, you can pose the questions to our beloved senior.
Panelists can unmute their line and talk.
Yes, you can unmute. The lines have been unmuted. So you have to unmute and you can pose.
I'm not able to hear you. What are the questions? Can you tell me over the phone so that I'll answer it?
Sir. Hello.
Please go ahead, sir.
Sir,
Yeah, what is the question? I'll repeat it aloud and then, I'll try to answer it so that people can hear. No problem. No problem. No, I'm not able to hear anyone. I don't know. Tell me. No. I've unmuted it. It's not mute. Doesn't matter. Oh God.
Getting nervous.
Akash?
Yeah.
Akash? Senior is not able to hear our voices. Is there any technical issue?
Increase the volume of the computer. Whatever device is using.
I will just inform him. I think the volume is relatively high. I'll just inform him, but he's not able to hear us.
No, volume is high, then I must close my ears and then still hear it. Well, this kind of a problem also arises during our online court proceedings also. So it is not something new. Anyway, we'll have to cope up with it. As I said, in my office, all around my office, they have dug. So I came back home, to be here with you. Whatever the questions, if you can, tell me whatever you have got. By then, probably we'll be able to, maybe the engineers will be able to improve upon the system.
Yes. If anybody has any question, please pose. I have switched on my mic, my phone mic, so senior would be able to hear.
Sir, ನನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇದೆ.
ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್.
COVID-19 ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ತುರ್ತು ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಇದ್ದ ಹಾಗೆ ಎಂದು ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವು ರೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡೋದನ್ನ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಬಹುದಾ ಅಂತ ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆ ಸರ್.
Strictly speaking, ರೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡೋದು ನಿಲ್ಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ 2 ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಒಂದು ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಫೈನಲಿ ಲಾಯರೇ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ
ಸರಿ ಸರ್
ನೋಡಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಚೇಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ರೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡದೇ ಇರೋ ತರ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಂದಾಗ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ನವರು ವಜಾ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು.
ಸರಿ ಸರ್.
ಇಂಥ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ರೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ತಪ್ಪಾಗಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಸ್ಪೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದಿದೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ ನಾನು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಬಟ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ಲಾ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಟುಡೇ, you cannot prevent paying of stop payment of rents. Reason is simple. ನೀವು ತಾವು 56 ನೋಡಿ, section 56 ಅಲ್ಲಿ when it becomes impossible of performance, ನೀವು when you are continuing to occupy the premises with your office equipment, books, everything, and you have not handed over the premises back to the landlord, then you may not be able to say that, sorry, I will not hand over possession of this. I mean, I will not pay the rents. In fact, 1966 Supreme Court ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ,
1024
not be a windfall for the tenant ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಇಂಥ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿನಲ್ಲಿ only thing that we can do is tell the landlord, ನೋಡಿ ನಾವು ಬದುಕಬೇಕು, ನೀವು ಬದುಕಬೇಕು, ಇದ್ರ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಮಧ್ಯಸ್ಥಿಕೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ರೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಒಪ್ಪಬಹುದು. ಯಾಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯತ್ವ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಲೀಗಲಿ
We put checks, you're not going to reduce.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm not able to hear him.
Hello.
I think there was silence, sir, in between. I think somebody was interrupting in between.
Okay.
Sir.
Okay. Can I talk, sir? Hello.
Yes,
Can
sir.
I talk, sir?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead with your question, sir. Sir.
Hello.
Sir, please go ahead with your question.
Can you hear me? My name is Chandru.
Yes, sir. We are able to hear you.
My name is Chandru.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Sir, we are able to hear you, Mr. Chandru.
Sir, my name is Chandru.
Yes, please ask the question.
Okay. Yeah, sir. See, 5 students had. Yeah, 5 students had taken a flat in Pune on leave and license basis, ending April 2020. But unfortunately, all of them had to go back home, respective hometown, and the flat was kept under lock and key. The owner is asking the rent till the time of handing over of the flat.
Strictly speaking, he has to pay, they have to pay the rents. But then please note down this. 2020 SCC online Manipur, page 105, division bench of the Manipur High Court held, based on the notification issued by the central government, which notification is dated 29/3/2020, Manipur High Court granted an interim stay of payment of rents by migrant labor, workers, and students, because the notification of the central government specified that during this lockdown period, migrant labor, workers, and students, their rents get suspended. So on that basis, that students may be able to say, sorry, during this period, we will not pay you the rent. But once the lockdown situation has been lifted, they may have to pay the rents.
Hello.
Yes, next question, please.
Hello.
Hello.
ಸರ್ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಗಣೇಶ್ ಅಂತ.
Thank you.
ಹೇಳಿ ಗಣೇಶ್ ಅವರ.
ಸರ್ ಈಗ ನೀವು ಇದು ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಈಗ ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಓನರ್ ಏನಾರ ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ರೆಂಟ್ ನ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಲವು ತಿಂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೊ ಡೂ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಅಮೆಂಡ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಲೀಸ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್? ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಿ
ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ಹೌದು, ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಉತ್ತಮ. ಯಾಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ
ಓಕೆ,
ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿವಸ ಒಪ್ಪಿ ನಾಳೆ ಅವನು ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇನ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್, ಹಿ ವಿಲ್ ಸೇ ಅದು ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ. It is always safer to have an agreement saying that during this period or for the next 6 months, the rents will be reduced to this amount.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Agreement ಮಾಡೋದು ಉತ್ತಮ.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you,
Hello.
sir.
Next question.
Hello, Uday sir.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
Hello.
Sir, MR Valal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please
Hello,
go ahead.
Sir. Hello, sir.
Sir, ಹೇಳಿ. Please go
Sir.
ahead. Please go ahead with your question.
MR Valal. Sir, the Motor Vehicle Taxation Act, as well as ಈ ಬಾರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಸ್ಟೋರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅವರು ಹಣ ಕಟ್ಟಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇದೆ. ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ ಹಣವನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಈಗ ಇನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದು ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪೇ ದಿ ಕಿಸ್ತ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆದರ್ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಂಪ್ಟೆಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್.
Sorry, I was not able to hear it. Shri Trivikram, were you able to hear the question?
No, sir. ಸರ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿ, ಸೀನಿಯರ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಿಸಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್. ಸರ್ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಯನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳಿ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿ, ಸೀನಿಯರ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಿಸಿಲ್ಲ ಅದು.
ಸರ್ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳೋದು ಬಾರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಸ್ಟೋರೆಂಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್, ಮೋಟಾರ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಮಗೂ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಎಕ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ತಗೋಬಹುದಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಅವರು.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್? ಬಾರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಸ್ಟೋರೆಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನವ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ಬೇರೆ ವಿಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕೋ ಬೇಡ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದ್ದು ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆವಾಗ ನೀವು ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಪ್ರೆಷರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Legally, it is not possible.
Hello.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
Hello.
Satyavikram, can I talk?
Yes, yes, sir. Satyanarayana Gupta, sir. Please go ahead.
Sir. Sir, how are you, Holla, sir? Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good to see you.
I say very nice to see you, sir. Okay, sir. Now you have raised one question. You have to enter into some document reducing the rent or whatever they may be between the landlord and tenant. Sometimes there is a 15-20 years lease, the registered lease dates are there. Then you have to go and get the registered document
for amending the rent slabs. What's your opinion, sir?
Sir, a registered document has to be amended only by means of a registered document.
Yes.
The Registration Act is very clear on it. Possibly you may have to make another addendum whereby you agree to reduce the rent for a specified period and register it.
Sir, I have a question, sir. Manu here.
Yes, sir.
So the question is, I was faced with a scenario where the lease agreement was terminated. Tenant was required to vacate the premises on 1st of April. But on account of lockdown, he was unable to vacate the premises. And now the question really is the landlord is now asking for 2 months damages at the current rate. As in, he is negotiating, this is what I could have got. You've been there on a long lease. Now, what would be your view on the liability of the tenant to pay damages for 2 months when he could not vacate on account of lockdown?
Strictly speaking, since the tenant continued to occupy, he is liable to pay the rent. In fact, in 2003, what happened was, that was a case where the building came to be destroyed. That 2003 judgment which I referred to. Supreme Court held, even though the building stood destroyed, land continues, the lease encompasses within itself both the building as well as the land. Therefore, the lease continues and the tenant is liable to pay the rent. In your case, the tenant, yes, he could not vacate it, though he was wanting to vacate because of COVID. But unfortunately, he continued to occupy the premises, keep his things inside, etc., in which event he may have to pay the rent. But ultimately, when the matter goes up before the court, I'm sure in mediation, they would be able to, or the judge himself might say, all right, do something about it. He was not able to vacate because of COVID, and he may persuade the parties to agree to a via media and persuade the landlord to take only 1 month's rent instead of 2 months' rent.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, sir. Sir, this is the one sir has explained me that all previous judgments is what enter into in our judiciary and what is the contract basis and what is the rent act basis. Everything it is fine. That we should not able to follow in this COVID-19 period. So this existing government has to take the action for in this. I'm insisting for this government has to take the action for this, particularly March 20th, 2020 onwards till next. Economically, COVID-19 extend, economically the state is going to be all the social people and earning people except the salary people. Except the salary people, those who are servicing, those who are providing servicing, or those who are trading, those who are businessing, whatever they are having the premises for the rent, those people are sufferer for till the 12 months, according to my knowledge. Because of the economically, this is the very low. We sufferer is going to be, economy is not going to be hiked for in one day. It continuously comes for more than 8 months or 1 year, sir. It's going to be extended for 21. So in this reason, we should file one petition against to party the state government. Fix the rate for the rent. Fix the square feet area for the uniform rent till the 1 year. From the 20th of March 2020 till the limit of the period next 1 year. Because of the economic crisis. Because of the huge reasonable valid reason for the COVID-19. This is the one we should take the action. This way we should question and we should get the remedy. Not we are not going to ready to ask any exemption, any rent discount or exemption for this not paying the rent and all. That is not a solution. Here is the square feet area. It should be reduced for in
Okay,
this
ma'am, we
during
got
the
the
period.
question. I think,
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is the
ultimately
one.
it is for the government to take a call. It is
Yeah,
for the
we
government.
should. Yeah, we should.
ma'am,
Judiciary, we should question.
please allow
Yeah.
senior to speak. We got your question. Please allow our senior to speak.
Ultimately, it is for the government to take the call. Maybe, you know, the association will say that, look, you will have to reduce the rent. But at the same time, please also bear in mind, as the tenants go and ask for it, landlords will say, look, we depend on that for our livelihood. There are many old people who are the owners of buildings. They would have invested their hard-earned savings in it. If they are not to get the rents, what should happen to their livelihood? So these are the various, you know, pressures and pulls that the government will have. Ultimately, the government will have to take the call. Yes, sir.
Uday sir,
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Krishnamurthy, please go ahead.
Sir, actually, there is a client who has come to us, and he has a building that has been tenanted from the landlady, and the lease agreement has been actually done for 2 years, and it has expired. I mean, 3 years back itself. And the termination clause reads like this: the lease shall continue automatically at the end of the lease period, but can be terminated with a 90-day notice from either party after the lease period is over. But based on these tenant and then the landlady understanding, the lease has been continued for the since 2017, and it is going on fine. But due to the COVID-19 situation, the tenant is actually running a PG, and there's nobody living in the PG as of now. And he says that I am unable to pay the rent because of the COVID-19. So, what is your suggestion, sir? I mean, what
you will have to file a suit for recovery of rents and for eviction. That's the only way. And during the pendency of the suit, you will have to file an application saying that if he, during the pendency of the suit or eviction proceeding, if he does not pay the rents, his defense should be struck off. You know, there are judgments of our own High Court where our High Court has held that if during the pendency of the proceedings, if the court passes an order that the tenant should keep depositing the rents into court or pay to the landlord, and if the tenant defaults on it, his defense can be struck off, in which event the landlord will get back the premises at an earlier date. That is the only remedy available, because they have to either vacate or pay the rent. They can't say that, you know, we will continue without paying the rents. That may not be acceptable to court of law.
Any more questions?
Yes, sir, I have
hello.
a question. Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Pratibha Singh. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Sir, I have a client as a landlord who have a tenant signed agreement before COVID, and now tenant refuses to register the agreement or occupy the building. So the agreement had a lock-in of 3 years and the lease was of 9 years. And to give more input, there was no FM clause in the FM clause which includes COVID situation. So in this case, can I call client to take over the position and call them for the agreement registering?
You can do that, but then if the tenant does not come for signing it, you know, how are you going to force him?
Sir, signing is already done, sir.
Is it registered?
It's not registered, yeah.
If you have put the tenant in possession, he is liable to pay the rents. If you have not put in possession, then, you know, the problem would arise, because he may say that I'm not interested in taking the premises.
Okay, sir.
In fact, please have a look at one judgment which I will refer to, and you may find some solution in that. 1971.
Yes, sir.
1 minute. Let me just take out that judgment. (1971) 2 SCC 288.
Yes, sir.
What happened was, a tender was invited, and when the tender was invited, somebody bid for it. He was a successful bidder. Unfortunately, the lease deed was not executed. Thereafter, he went back on it, because what happened was the lease, again, it is a partition, the pre-partition event of partition between India and Pakistan. The land fell within Pakistan. The tenant said, I'm not liable to pay. Supreme Court upheld it. So maybe you may find some solution in this 71 2 SCC 288. Please look at paragraph 1, 4, 5, and 9 of that judgment. 71 2 SCC 288. Please look at it, ma'am.
Sure. Sir, one more question I have.
Yes.
Like if tenant don't pay the rent, so can landlord cut the power or take the possession of furniture in lieu of rent?
No, madam. Physically, you cannot do all that. The tenant, the landlord will be liable for criminal action. Ultimately, whatever has to be done in accordance with law through the process of court. Physically, you cannot do it.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Any more questions?
Hello. My
Sir,
name is
I have a
Prajwal.
question, sir.
Ma'am Shailja, yes, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, the lease period was ended in the month of March, sir. But because of the situation, tenants requested to continue for some more days. Actually, owner accepted that, and he told, okay, they can continue. They paid the rent, but the security deposit, whatever they gave, it was like directed for the damages, whatever that happened. But they got damaged flat very badly. Severe damage happened to tiles and floors, everything. While vacating, tenants told that they are ready to repay whatever the repairs charges. But finally, when asked, they went to the police station and gave a complaint for harassment. Now also they are threatening for false complaints against the owner. How to go about
File
it?
a suit, madam. You will have to file a suit against the tenant who had damaged, and then lead evidence, in which event, if it is found to be true that he has damaged it, and if you are able to prove the cost involved, court will grant you the decree for that amount.
So, I just want some more clarification regarding this, sir, if you don't mind.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, for some of the repairs, we have the bills, everything, sir, to show even the pictures, everything. But some of the cards and all, we do not have the original receipts, whatever we have. So, in that case, is there any chance of appointing any commissioner to that extent, sir?
Yeah, it is possible, but then you will have to file a suit and seek remedies.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
So my name is Prajwal.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Please
Mr.
go ahead.
Prajwal, go ahead.
See, right now I have multiple apartments on rent. Okay. As your discussion sounds that there is no law for tenants.
I'm not saying that there is no law for tenants. There is a Rent Control Act. It applies only to premises which is small and where the rent is less than the specified amount in the act. There is a Tenant Protection Act, but that protects only small tenants. As far as others are concerned, it is either the lease deed which is a contract which governs the parties' rights, or it is if there is no lease deed, there is a term which is orally agreed. After all, an agreement or a contract can come into existence, whether it could be oral, it could be in writing. So ultimately, you'll have to lead evidence in this regard.
Yeah. So another thing, in this COVID situation, can there be any rule saying that 50% of rent to be given, and because with both the ends there will be losses of 50%, so no one has a pinch.
All that court can't write contracts for the parties. Ultimately, it is the parties will have to write the contract. Court will only enforce the contracts.
Okay. Fine, sir.
I think we have exceeded the time.
Yes, sir.
Sir, one final question, sir.
Yes, Mr. Ravi Prakash, please, quickly.
So very good morning and good afternoon now. Sir, my question is with regards to the travel trade, if the lessee is a travel trade business and his business is not possible because travels haven't started. So can we bring into doctrine of frustration for same? That is not possible of performance at all.
You will have to vacate. See, the problem would be this. You can't stick around there and not pay the rents and then, say that, I'm not liable to pay at all. In fact, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry
In
to
fact,
interrupt.
sorry, please
In
go ahead.
fact, yeah, in fact, the owner was informed during the COVID period itself about the lessee's intention to vacate the premises. That since the business is not to be foreseen to be continued for the coming 1 year, this has been informed, but the owner has not informed anything back to the lessee.
If you look at section 56, it is only impossibility that would enable you to terminate the contract. The COVID situation, it is not that it is impossible. Maybe the business has virtually come to a standstill, but it doesn't mean that there are no tourists going around. In fact, people would go from Bangalore to Coorg. There are people going to other places. So court may not view it in that sense. Possibly he or she will have to vacate the premises and thereafter take the call. That's the only way. Because what happens is, yes, the tenant does not have business. Possibility of travel business picking up is is quite remote for the next 3 or 4 months. But it doesn't mean like that. If you remember that judgment, decision of the Madras High Court in 64, cyclone, for a specified period, they couldn't use it, but later they could use it. Here also, the person can change from travel business to some other business also. So courts will not view it kindly if you continue to occupy the premises and not pay the rents.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So before we wrap up, I have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Would the state have the authority to interfere in this private contract? Would they be able to put a cap on the rent for the moment?
Strictly speaking, no, because ultimately, if such a legislation is brought in, I'm sure court will strike it down.
Strike it down.
Right to property may not be a fundamental right under Article 31, but then it is a fundamental, it is a constitutional right under Article 300D. There are enough judgments in this regard. Therefore, it is the right of the landlord to prescribe the rent that he or she thinks, should be. In fact, now please look at another angle. There have been clients hollering for a cap on the lawyer's fees. There are judges who have said that. So, is that possible? Answer is no. Is there a possibility of capping the fees of the doctors or surgeons or chartered accountants or the architects? Well, the same thing will apply. So, capping the rent may not be legally permissible. Of course, government can always pass a legislation and take a chance. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. So once
Thank
again,
you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be amidst all of you, because being in a lockdown situation, even when you go to office, you'll see only your juniors and maybe, occasionally a stray client, coming in. So to see all of you really gladdens my heart is all that I can say. I wish you all the best. Please make use of this time for improvement of your professional career. You may not be able to get clients. Please read. Even the greatest of lawyers, whether it be Palkiwala, Alladi Kritswamy Iyer, they didn't have work. I did not have work in the initial stages. The greatest of lawyer, Palkiwala, when he came to the bar, it is said that he went and met Justice Chagla, who was not only a judge of the Bombay High Court, but also the Chancellor of the Bombay University. This young man, lawyer, met Justice Chagla and said, "Sir, can I use the university library. And Justice Chagla said, I readily agree. And he is none other than Palkiwala, one of the greatest lawyers that India had. So please make use of this time for improvement. Try to imbue management principles. Management principles help you in your career, in your profession, in your even court submissions. Please make best use of this time, sir. All of you, ladies and gentlemen. This is, yes, it's a hard time, but this hard time always teaches you better values in life. I am extremely thankful to all of you. I wish you all the very best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Can we conclude the session, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you very, very much. Unless
Yes,
you have
thank
anything else.
That's all for now, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.